Welcome to My Zone Online School. My name is Ismail Topoli, and also welcome to Pamwene. Boys and girls, please remember to always sanitize your hands. Also make sure that your social distance is intact, all right? And lastly, make sure that you always wear your mask. So today we'll do the topic of factors. All right, let's go to page 10. Now let's look at the learning objectives. The learning objectives is to know factors and their property. Their competencies is to determine the factors of any number up to 100. For example, the factors of 24 are 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, 12, and 24 itself. But we will look deeper into this topic today. All right, so let's see, what is a factor? A factor is a number that can go into a certain number without a remainder. Okay? There is a factor. Now, let's quickly look at some of the factors that we can discover. Let's look at the number 8. What we want to find out is we want to find out numbers that can go into 8 without a remainder. That's what we want to do. Let's start them off one by one. We're not going to consider 0, although I wrote there 0, but just for you to know that 0 also exists. But let's start with 1. Now 1 goes into any number, all right? So 1 is a factor of any number, be it 100, 24, whatsoever. So 1 is a factor of 8. Let's look at 2. We will make jumps of 2, okay? So 2, 4, 6, and 8. So what do you notice? 2 is a factor of 8. All right. Now let's look at the next number, which is 3. Okay, so it's 3, 6. What do you notice? 3 is not a factor of 8. Now let's look at 4. 4, and then another jump of 4 will be 8. So 4 is a factor of 8. 5, what do you think? Pamwene, do you think 5 is a factor of 8? No. All right? Can you see? It's not a factor of 8. Even 6 is not a factor of 8. 7 is not a factor of 8, except 8. 8 is a factor of 8. All right? Matter of fact, whenever you are asked to find factors, 1 and that number itself is always a factor of that number. What I mean, 1 and 8, they will always be there. Okay? All right. Now, I want us to look at something. Pamwene, here we have a number 18. All right? Now, what I want us to discover is what we call factor pairs. Okay? Now, before we go into the depths of that, what I want Pamwene to do for me is the following. Pamwene, Find out for me, starting from big to small, what are the factors of 18? 1. Okay, 1. What else? 2. 2. 3. 6. 9. 18. And 18. Now, there's a reason why I want it written out like this. As I said, what we want to do is factor pairs. Now, I want you to look at this. Pamune, what is 1 times 18? So what does that mean? It means 1 and 18 are factor pairs. All right? So we have 1 and 18. Okay? So, Pamone, what is 2 times 9? 18. It's 18 again. So, another factor pair will be 2 and 9. And lastly, what is 3 times 6? 18. It's 18 again. So, 3 and 6 are factor pairs of 18. All right. So that is what we call factor pairs. All right. Now let's go to page 11. And then let's just look at that example so that we can see how do we handle this topic. Okay, so we are going to look at discovering the highest common factor. But before we come to discovering the highest common factor, there are certain things that we need to know, like factors and common factors, and that is what we are going to explain now. So, let's quickly look on the chalkboard. So here I have the number 12 and the number 18, okay? Now, the first thing I need to do is to find their factors. We're going to find the factors from big to small. Pamone, can you help me on this one? 1. Oh, okay, good. 1 is always there. Next? 2. Okay, 2. What else? 3. And then? 4. 6. Okay, I thought you would say 5. We are not counting. 6, yes. And 12. Good. Smart boy. Okay, let's go to 18. What about 18? 1. And then 2. And then 3. And then 6. Then 9. And then 18. All right, now, by doing that, we have already answered question A. Do you realize that? Because question A says, find all the factors of 12 and 18. Okay, now, what is our next mission? Is to discover all the common factors of 12 and 18. Now, what is common? If something is common, it means it appears in both sets. All right? Here we have a set of 12, factors of sets of 12, and here we have factors, a set of factors of 18. Okay? Now, Pamone, help me here. Which of these factors are common? In other words, that appear here and also there. 1. What else? 2. And then? 3. And then? 6. What else? That's it. Okay. So by that, we are done with number B, because we have discovered all the common factors of 12 and 18. Now C says, find the highest common factor. In other words, the biggest number among the common factors. All right? I always like saying, find the factor that is common, that is the highest. Now, when we look at these common factors, which one is the highest?
6.
It is 6. So 6 is our highest common factor. Okay? So, now that we have done that, I want us to quickly look at our activities. Activity number 1 says, identify the factor pairs of A is 24 and B is 36. Now, if you look on the chalkboard, what you will notice is exactly this work that we did with Pamwene. This one. All right? Like how we discovered the factor pairs of 18. Now what you need to do is to discover the factor pairs of A, 24, and B, 36. All right. Number 2. List the factors of 3, 5, and then which is A, and then B, which is 48, and then C, which is 72. Now this is quite easy. Remember we did this also on the chalkboard? Let's look on the chalkboard. It's the same way how we did it here. Our first activity. You basically just list them. Okay? You just list them. Take your time. You don't need to rush. Discover. Make sure that you find all the factors. Okay? And then on the next page, which is page 12, now you will notice that question 3 and question 4, they are similar. Okay? In question 3, it says, consider the numbers 12 and 20. And then as we did before, you remember, you find all the factors of 12 and 20. And then what you do next? You discover all the common factors. And then lastly, you find the highest common factor. And that is what you do for number 3 as well as for number 4. At number 4, you discover you discover all the factors of 24 and 54. All right? And then you do the same thing. You find all the factors, you find the common factors, and you also make sure you find the highest common factor. I hope you enjoyed this lesson, and you are going to enjoy it. And like I said, factors takes time to discover. So take your time, don't rush through it. Make sure you find all the factors, and boys and girls, all the best. All right, boys and girls, I hope you enjoyed that lesson. Now, before we leave, I just want to remind you, remember to always sanitize your hands. Remember social distance. Okay? Don't forget your mask. Very important. Okay? So, until we meet next time, goodbye.
Hi everyone, my name is Shoshi, I'm back, and you can always stay active throughout the lockdown. You can play with your friends, but keep your distance. Like me and my friend, yay! and you can also jog and sing to be active. Until next time, bye!